Hi, I'm Luis.
And I'm Diana, and we are here with you to talk about the movies that we watched, I think, pretty much in the month of July. So there's a couple of them. Actually, I think there's like maybe five or six, but really, there's one that we watched together, and that's the movie Awake. So,
Right.
Luis,
Yeah, and
uh,
not technically
I-
together, but we both saw it for like from where we are, right? So but
you're in Texas, I'm in Michigan, so
right.
we decided that was the movie that we were both going to watch, and we did. And so this movie has Gina Rodriguez. She was on Jane the Virgin. That's what I know her from. And I think I've seen her like maybe in another movie, so I was kind of curious, like, what was this going to be about, and was I going to like it, and was she going to be good in it? So,
Right.
your opinion, I want to know.
Yeah,
What did you think of the movie?
the movie's called Awake and it's on Netflix. The movie it had an interesting plot, you know? Cuz well, I'm going to say the plot real quick, I guess. It's kind of like something happens to where people can no longer fall asleep. So like
Mm-hmm.
I guess their sleep cycles are messed up for whatever reason. And
Yep.
yeah, and if you can't sleep, well, your body's gonna give out and you're gonna, well, die because your organs are gonna fail. So it turns out that there's like maybe like a rare person that isn't affected by it and she can actually like sleep. So it's kind of like everyone's seeing her as like the key to, well,
Yeah.
literally saving the world, you know. I thought the movie was kind of average. I think the plot was better than the movie itself, like that idea. But it was okay, I guess. I mean, it was free. It was on Netflix, so, or not free, but you know, if you have the
Right.
subscription, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, the daughter was it was supposed to be the character of Gina, that her daughter was the one that could for some reason, and they couldn't, like, that's like kind of at the end of the movie where they find out like why she was able to stay awake.
Hmm.
But like you said, like I mean, I don't really like sci-fi movies a lot of times, so I was a little bit skeptical, but actually I'm the one that picked this one, so I don't have anyone to blame but
Oh
myself.
no, it
Yeah,
it's
but I was
fine
expecting
because
more.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like I like sci-fi and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I didn't mind it. It's just and the movie was okay. Like I'm saying, I've seen worse. Like I have a friend who like
Yes.
he put on a movie called Rubber, and it's nothing,
Gosh.
but it was like it sounds bad, right? But it was like about a tire, like a tire.
Oh, okay.
So that's the worst movie I've ever seen, you know? And it was like about a
Yeah.
tire that has a mind of its own and it's like killing people. And it's
Oh
literally
my
a tire.
goodness.
See, so if I could see that, you know, I can
Yeah, yeah.
like that's like at the very
Definitely.
bottom. So that you know, I can see anything is better than that pretty much. So don't ever feel
Well,
bad.
I know there's worse
Yeah.
because even like growing up, they had Saturday morning cartoons,
Oh
and
yeah.
I remember this one called like we didn't have as many choices as people do now or kids do now. It
Hmm.
wasn't on like all the time, and at
Right.
that time we where I lived, we didn't have cable. And I remember this show called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
And so I actually watched that because there weren't very many options. So to me,
Hmm.
that's like at the bottom of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say if I rated this movie, I would definitely say it was pretty average. It wasn't horrible
Hmm.
because some movies are bad because of the acting. It's not that they weren't good actors. It's just I think there were like a lot of things just kind of hanging in the air. Like they tried like to
Hmm.
make it more than what it was. Like I
Yeah.
mean they had like naked people and
Hmm.
like just try to like make it like scarier, and yet they didn't really explain everything either,
Right.
like these people couldn't sleep but somehow it had to do with the sun, and like I don't
Hmm.
know, it was a little bit like
Right.
really
And
what happened.
yeah, and also like the kind of like I mean, you couldn't sleep, right? But that doesn't make you like a killer or like a I don't know, like you know what I mean? Some of the like the leaps, you know what I mean? Getting from one thing
Yeah,
to the next. I guess they just wanted to make it like that, like more thrilling or
dramatic.
yeah, trying to create drama or create tension, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like that, like you're saying, like some things weren't really explained all that well, but yeah, like so what would you rate it?
Yeah, like I said, it was just average. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, like I like watched it again, but it was like okay, it was entertainment. And like if you want to see an actor or actress
Mm-hmm.
in another role, I think she did pretty good. Like she wasn't overly dramatic and fake. Like I could believe like her situation, you know.
Right.
So I thought she did well, but the movie itself was just you
Mm-hmm.
know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So that's what I would say for that. And
Like if
oh, I had another.
a 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give it?
Oh my goodness. Maybe 4.5.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I'm
I mean,
there.
at least it's not a two or a three.
Right.
So
Yeah, I would say 5 for me. So it's kind of like there, like kind of just there, like average, you know.
yeah.
Right.
But you know what actually helped? Like I think, like I don't watch all movies with this audio description.
Right.
But for this one, I chose to just because I was like, what if I miss something? And I think that actually helped to make the movie better than I would have thought had I not done that, you know?
Right.
Because there were times when it was just quiet and then you actually hear what's happening. Like I said, I don't always choose that for myself, but I think it just made the movie a little bit better for me anyway.
Right.
So,
That's interesting. Yeah, because that's how I watch them all. Well, you know, and
yep.
I was gonna say something about because uh, like I've had anxiety before, and then like one of my fears a long time ago, well, years ago, was like not being able to sleep. So I was kind of like I had like insomnia, and there was like a period where I probably slept like maybe like 6 hours in 3 days or something like that, and it was like uh it was kind of getting to me because I was like, man, and I looked it up, like I Wikipedia or I Googled stuff, like, which is dumb. You don't want to do that when you're anxious, you know. Because I Googled, and there was like cases, right, like a handful of people, right, that they actually had like a condition where they couldn't literally sleep, right, and then well they did die, but not like as early as the movie said, because the movie said it was like within like several days, but these people, like, it took like maybe months, but I mean their body started failing. I mean, sorry to get like off topic, but it's just one of those things that
Yeah.
it's kind of like that kind of reminded me of that, like, man, when I was scared like that I wouldn't be able to sleep. And then
Yeah.
I actually talked to someone else, and he said that he was afraid that he was gonna, like, if he fell asleep he was gonna die. So we're like on totally opposite, you know,
Oh my goodness.
spectrums of that. So it was just kind of one of those things. And you were saying like how sometimes like the scary movies or movies to like thrillers, they kind of just give them a one word name.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
did. Because it sounds more scary if you just have one word or
Right.
something like that. Can you think of any movies that are just one word, like names, like how I was saying?
Yeah. Well, that's
Like
what I
I
was
mean, I can
gonna.
think of.
Yeah.
Uh
There's a movie coming out this Friday, and it's by M. Night Shyamalan. You know,
huh.
the guy from The Sixth Sense. Yeah, the movie's
Yep.
called Old.
Oh my
That's the name
goodness.
of it, and it's coming out this Friday, and my brother's gonna see it. And pretty much the concept is that within a day, like, children age to like when they're old. So pretty much they die within a day, something like that.
Oh.
So that's kind of like the concept, kind of like one of those weird things. Like, but yeah, I don't know how that's gonna be, but yeah.
Well, it's just a lot of animals or insects, really. They only live, and there's even some flowers that
Hmm.
they just live a day, and that's it, you know.
Right.
So that's an interesting idea. But yeah, like there's a lot of movies that are just one word because they got to be like mysterious, or you know, it's just kind of funny how they try to make it like that. Like you could basically make a movie about anything. Just pick your word: wind,
You're
you
right.
know, water,
Yeah.
fire. There you
Tornado,
got your movie
tornado,
already.
twister, volcano. You know, all these.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Exact.
Yeah. And
So yeah.
what other movies did you watch?
Okay, so I besides this movie that we were just talking about, I watched Mother's Day. I'm a
Mhm.
little bit behind on my movie watching, you know. So like I just watched this recently, and this one had Jennifer Aniston and Kate Hudson as well as Julia Roberts, and it came out in 2016. So like 2016. And I just got around to watching it, but it was interesting because you see all these actors in this one movie, and like it's a little bit dysfunctional. I think the family, because they're all celebrating mothers, but their own kind of way, you know. rain over there. What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't hear you all that well. If you could repeat
Oh,
what
shoot.
you said, the last
All
maybe
right.
minute. Like I guess
Oh,
they were
okay.
intertwined, right?
Okay. So Mother's Day had like a bunch of famous actors, actresses, really. And it's just like following that one day, for some reason, that day means different things for different people. Like this one family has like their mother that died, and then these other sisters have parents that they haven't seen in ages because they don't really want to tell them what's happening in their lives. So
Hmm.
it's just a bunch of actors that we know really well. I think it's what's that guy that did Pretty Woman? Marshall. I'm blank on his name. He's the one that directed this movie. And so it was like it had like some of the same people that had like Pretty Woman. Like it
Yeah.
had the other guy and Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, and like I said, Kate Hudson. So it was just interesting to watch. It was entertaining. And if I were to rate it, I would give it like 4 stars. That would be my rating for Mother's Day. You know,
4 out of 10.
4 out of 5. If I'm
Okay.
doing the stars,
So it'd be like an 8. If it was like an 8 out of 10, you think? If it was a 10.
I think so because it was entertaining. I mean, some of the parts were just ridiculous, but it
Right.
was entertaining enough. So it was just interesting. So
Yeah.
it had everything in it: drama, comedy, like romance. It was
Right.
all smacked into one. It was
Yeah.
Gary Marshall that directed it, by the way.
Okay.
Cellular,
So,
1 of 4
and
bars.
you,
Signal
you've seen a
strength.
few.
Status bar.
Sorry,
Engineering micro. 53%. Turn off micro.
Okay, it's because my phone did something, but yeah, I've seen that movie, and yeah, there's a couple like there was New Year's Day, Valentine's
Mm-hmm.
Day, and they're all kind of
Yep.
like that, like a bunch of stories that interconnect.
All the holidays.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much it's become like its own thing, and I think there was I forgot which one the British one was. It was
Seen it.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but yeah, no, but that's interesting. I'm glad you liked it. The movie that I saw this weekend also was the new Space Jam, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and it's LeBron James is pretty much the star of this one, and I wasn't.
Isn't there a first one? Like there was one in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was '96, and that was Michael Jordan, and that one's the one that like. I remember it when I was younger, and I liked it. But
Okay.
recently, people like look back on it, and they kind of like they say it's cheesy or this and that. But that's kind of like the retrospective now. People look back on things and they're like, oh well, like I don't know if you've heard about Home Alone. That people say like when they talk about Home Alone now, like they say if they look back on it, it seems more like a scary movie or like a horror movie because this kid's kind of like bashing these guys with like,
I still think it's a comedy.
yeah,
But for this movie that you're talking about, Space Jam, like the first one and maybe even the second, because I haven't seen either. But isn't it a mixture of like live action and animation?
yes, and
Okay.
yeah, so it's pretty much like yeah, the one with Michael. I mean, neither one are good actors. Like Michael Jordan wasn't a good actor. LeBron James wasn't a good actor either. But it's just kind of like
And
more.
both are basketball players, right?
Yes. Like it's kind of there's a little bit of well, there's a debate, right? Like cuz now people are trying to lift LeBron James to be like the next, the next great superstar or was he better than Michael Jordan?
Uh-huh.
But, so it's kind of like even that people are just hating because of he's very polarizing. So people they'll be like, oh, well, the first Space Jam was better because then Michael Jordan, or this one
Right.
like with LeBron. So regardless of the movie, just because of the person, they're like already kind of biased or whatever.
So exactly what is the movie about, though? Like,
Yeah.
if you can explain a little bit.
Well, in the first Space Jam, like pretty much like I'm gonna tell you about both, so it might it might take a little longer. So in the first Space Jam, like cartoon aliens, want like in the planet that they live, they have like a theme park, and the aliens that go there like they're like bored by the amusement park. So like the owner of the amusement park, who's like Danny DeVito, is like he's the voice of the alien, and then he sees like the Looney Tunes on TV, and he says everybody like loves the Looney Tunes, so he wants to like get the Looney Tunes like pretty much kidnap them and take them to his planet to be in the theme park.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you kind of like gotta, turn your brain off for these movies. So pretty much like.
So wait, hold on just a second. So Danny DeVito, is he the voice of Chucky? Like I don't know.
Oh.
Like he's right, isn't he?
I don't know.
Because he has like an evil voice. Like for some reason, I think he is. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll.
Well, they have made so many Chucky movies that I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
know. But I think he has like the perfect evil voice, like for that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, he could actually do it because I mean he was the Penguin in Batman, so I know he's got that kind of that voice.
Yeah.
If he could do it, he could pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is, but maybe I'm completely wrong. But anyway,
We'll
go
Google
on.
it after. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But well, he's the bad guy in this one. So pretty much the aliens go to Earth to kidnap the Looney Tunes, and then Bugs Bunny, he tells them, well, if you beat us in, because there's like little the aliens he sends are like super small, like very like worm looking, like real small, tiny. So he says, okay, if you beat us in let's play a basketball game, and if you beat us in the basketball game, we'll go to to your planet, like you can take us.
So that's where the basketball players come in. I see.
Yeah. So then the little aliens, they kind of research basketball, and they're like, well, so they kind of go like to the NBA games, and they kind of steal the talent from the real NBA stars. So they have like the cameos, and that's how they get like huge. When they take their abilities, they grow and they get all muscular. They get all like, well, good at basketball, And then the Looney Tunes recruit Michael Jordan. So that's kind of how it was in that one. And then for the new one, it was LeBron James, and he has like his family, and he's kind of putting a lot of pressure on one of his sons to like focus on basketball, but the son's kind of more like into video games. Like he designs his own video game, right? And then pretty much the video game itself, it has an algorithm inside it that wants to, I guess, be like famous, right? So the pretty much the point is that algorithm sucks both the son and LeBron James into the video game, or into like the Warner Brothers universe, and it's kind of the same thing. Like he says, if you beat us at basketball, you can get out with your son, but if not, then you're gonna be stuck in here. So
it's a little bit like the Jumanji kind of stuff. Maybe
in a way, or like Tron. I don't know if you ever saw Tron.
No.
Yeah, it's one of those movies too, like the dad gets sucked into the video game, and then or it's kind of like the cyberverse or whatever. But here, like also like that.
So which one? If you had to choose, because I guess there's like you said, which one do you think did a better job? The first one or the second one?
I think the first one by far. But also it's because of nostalgia also. Like the music in the first one was better, more iconic. And then I guess Michael Jordan, who he is, he's like a legend, so I would pick the first one. And this one was like, I wasn't expecting much from it, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like it might be like a 5.5 out of 10 if I was to rate it. So, and I saw it on HBO Max pretty much. And my brother saw it at the movie theater. But yeah, I guess I would say like a 5.5. And what about the other movie that you saw?
Okay, well, I saw two of them that I'm putting together. I watched this one called This Lady Called Life, and it was like a Nigerian movie that came out in 2020. Sometimes I like to watch multicultural movies just because it's interesting, And this one is supposed to, like I said, be like... They called it a romantic drama, I think, or a romance drama, but I saw it more like as drama. Like the mother does not like her daughter, and you're just like, why is she so mean to her? That kind of thing. And so, like, you find out later that like this mother is upset because she's a single lady, the daughter is, and she got pregnant. Well, she didn't get pregnant on purpose, is what you find out later. But I think it's more like a chick flick. I mean, it's not really chick flicky. What I consider chick flicks are more like rom-coms.
Right.
And this was, I don't think it wasn't a rom-com. It was more dramatic, Yeah. So I thought it was okay. It was like, for me, I would rate it as average.
And where did you see that?
I saw that on Netflix, and
Oh,
I
it's
also
there.
saw the next movie that I watched was called Hillbilly Elegy,
Hmm.
and this was another dysfunctional type movie. This one had Amy Adams and Glenn Close,
Mhm.
and some new guy. His name is Gabriel Basso, and he's a young, cute guy. But anyway, so like the story is this guy is telling about his hillbilly family and how dysfunctional they are, and it's like an elegy. I don't know if you know what an elegy is.
No.
It's like it's like a little bit of a poem, and it's written, I think, when after somebody dies.
Oh,
It's not
like
a eulogy.
it's not a
It's
eulogy.
not a No, it's not.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
poem. Instead of just like a eulogy, which is just words, it's more like poetry about someone that died. So he's talking about his grandma who changed his life and made him want to be more than what his mom was and what the life that the grandma led. So it's like at first I was like, I'm not sure if I really like this movie or what I think about it, but as I watched it further, I was like, hey, this movie is not bad. And one of the things that I liked about it is that th- they had different years, and then they'd play the music that was happening during those years. So that would have been in like the 90s and that sort of thing. And I thought that was really cool how they did that.
That's cool.
And I didn't really write down my rating for that, but I think I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like I thought it was well done. Like
That's good.
they did a good job of. Sometimes you watch a movie and you're like thinking, "Hey, this seems real, like it's happening," and that's how I felt about this one. Like, I mean, I know there's actors in it, but I felt like I was watching some dysfunctional families' home videos.
Right. So it
So that
sucked
was
you in. So
pretty
that's
cool.
good.
Yeah, it seemed realistic. And Glenn Close, like I've mentioned her before, she did a good job. Like I was just like, whoa, she's like, I don't know why she hasn't won as many awards and stuff because I think she gets nominated a lot and doesn't always win. So I don't
Right.
know if she did or maybe I missed something. Maybe she did win for this movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's new enough. Yeah, because I think this came out this year, actually. No, last year it came out. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I saw Netflix as well. So that was my other movie, two other movies that I saw. And you have one last one that you saw.
Yeah, I saw Black Widow last week. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when you were talking about watching that, I'm like, okay, is it about a spider? Is it about some like widow that like I had no idea because I don't watch superhero movies, and I'm like the only superheroes I know are Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. So you kind of had to explain it to me a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, cause Black Widow's very like vague, right? You could think all those things. So that's why like but pretty much it's like she's one of the members of the Avengers, or she's pretty much like she's not like super powered like those other. So she's not like indestructible, right?
Hmm.
She's pretty much just like a highly trained spy, you know. So she's got all these fighting skills and you know pretty much like the peak human being, but as a woman, you know, or the
So
peak woman.
who is she? Who's the main actress in
Scarlett
this movie?
Scarlett Johansson is the main actress.
Oh, okay. I could see her being good and bad, but mostly bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the cast was pretty good. Like I think the actors were good.
Hmm.
But the thing is in the last Avengers movie, it's kind of like the timing is off cuz like this movie came out of order, like out of sequence. But in the last
Hmm.
movie, which was in Endgame, she dies in that movie. And that was like the last movie maybe 2019. So in that movie,
Hmm.
she died. But this movie's supposed to take place before that. This is like before. I'm gonna say words that are like not gonna. I guess you might not catch on to them, right? Because since you haven't watched the Marvel movies like all that much or followed them. Um,
At all.
yeah. Oh, at all. Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay. So she came out in Captain America. This movie was supposed to take place between Captain America Part 3 and then the
Hmm.
Avengers Infinity War. So it's kind of like
Oh.
it's supposed to fit between those, but it was filmed after the very last movie, which was the
Hmm.
Endgame. Uh-huh. So
Okay. So how many of them are there?
oh, there's like
Like, how
tons.
many?
No,
Lots?
like maybe like 20 something at this point, because
Oh
it's
my goodness.
yeah.
Whoa.
yeah, because
That
and
is
then they on Disney Plus they have like TV shows that are kind of connecting the next phase. So
Okay.
it's a whole world. It's a whole universe of like movies, you know?
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I have never been interested
Mhm.
or so like you said, there's 20 of them, so it's not like you can just watch one or two movies and get caught up. So like yeah, so that's the reason why I don't know anything
Right.
about that. Plus, like it's just not usually my genre, you know. The superhero movies can be a little bit silly
Yeah.
sometimes, absurd. But like I know that there's people that like them and
Mm.
they have their reasons, you know. So
Yeah, I'm one
good.
of those people. So yeah, so me, my friends, and also because growing up, we would watch like the TV shows, and one of my friends would even read the comics, or even now they still kind of read the comics or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of
When
like
did they come out? You know, like have the comics been around forever?
oh yeah, the
Or, like,
comics have been around since like
and-
the 60s, like in
Oh.
general, 50s, 60s, and like some people have gotten like tons of money because before, like if they had like the like a mint condition comic, like super well preserved, and it's like one of those rare, like, or the first appearance of whatever character, they've sold for like thousands in auctions. And I think well, Nicolas Cage, like he's been bankrupt for a while. That's why he makes all kinds of crazy movies now. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Well,
but he's a big nerd. Like he actually bought like one of the early Superman comics that's really
Okay.
expensive. So he bought that. And I mean, he bought castles, and he spent his money like really irresponsibly. That's why
Crazy.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then
and
when he went
he made
bankrupt,
money.
oh yeah, he made a lot of money, but he spent it like just as fast. Did you know that he's Coppola's I think nephew?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of a lot more stuff these days than I
Oh.
do. So anyway, so he made his money back selling all this stuff that he had.
Well, he didn't really make it back. He just kind of like was able to kind of pay. Like, he's still not breaking even. That's why you kind of see him making a lot of movies that, like, there's a joke about him now. Like he'll just make anything because he just needs to earn money, right?
Aw.
Because this,
My mom loves him. She
Yeah.
just thinks he's lost, So, oh man, that's a bummer.
yeah, my mom likes him too. And then, like, my brother saw a movie with him just yesterday, or it came out this weekend. It's called Pig.
Another one-word movie.
Yeah, but this one's kind of like, I don't know if you saw Taken.
No.
With Liam Neeson,
One-word
another
movie
one
as
movie,
well.
exactly. Yeah, so because kind of like in Taken, and then they made another movie kind of spoofing it, which was called Keanu, another one-word movie.
I almost feel like one-word movies are just you're gonna not get anything great. Like if it's one word, it's probably not gonna be that great.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised though, because Taken actually was a big hit, and then Keanu, I guess, was like in a way like kind of like a little cult movie, whatever. But
Okay.
this Pig movie was just kind of like that, like the concept of Taken, like that they kidnap or they do something to take something that you love, and then you get revenge, and it's kind of one of those action movies, like that kind of thing. So Pig was that, but imagine like they steal Nicolas Cage's pig because he's like a pig farmer. So pretty much he's like, like being like, just trying to get revenge, blowing stuff up for a pig, So it's just kind of ridiculous like that. But my brother said it was surprisingly good, like so. That's what something.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like usually, if it's ridiculous for me, like I tell you, I'm pretty critical about movies. So like I would be like, nah. Like there's a lot of movies out there, so that's why I'm kind of picky about what I watch.
Yeah.
But like some people just want to watch everything because like it's out there and they want to see what it's about, which I think is cool. But like for me, I'm a little bit more pickier because I don't watch as many. So.
Yeah, because if you're gonna invest your time, you want to watch something good. So I know my other friends are very critical. I have two friends that are super critical about everything. Like which is cool, And then I have two other friends that are like very like they love everything. So it's kind of one of those things. But yeah, but the Black Widow movie, I liked it. I enjoyed it. And I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Like, I mean, it's a polarizing movie because nerds are very polarizing. Like they're super critical. They're very like I don't know.
Yes.
So Yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things. Like people like it, and some people are like so about it. But I personally liked it. It was better than I thought.
Okay.
But one thing about it is that like the movies, the scenes where she was like in danger of dying, you know, it kind of didn't it didn't work because you already knew she wasn't gonna die. Because you know, since I told you, like she didn't die until like the last movie, so it's kind of like no matter what danger she's in, it kind of takes away from that. Like, but when other characters were in danger, it's kind of like okay, so I don't know what's gonna happen with them. But whenever she had those scenes, it was kind of like, well, I know she doesn't die, so. But overall, it was good. I thought it was good. I would give it like.
So your rating?
I would give it like an 8 out of 10, because I'm rating by 10s, right? You go by 5s, but I would say like, yeah, like an 8 out of 10. But I would recommend it, and I would watch it. Well, I actually saw it twice, because the first time I saw it, I saw it like I saw it without the descriptive audio, and then the second time I did see it with the audio description. So it was both. It was good both times, but the descriptive audio helped with a lot more detail. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, as far as the movies that I saw and the movies that you saw.
Yeah, July. I mean, I think most times during the summer, like if this was a normal summer, I mean, it is pretty much, but I think July is like a big month for movies normally, you know? But then because of COVID, I think probably a lot of the movie production places slow down a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so this is like big movie time. So like I said, I've been trying to watch more movies just because it's fun, it's entertaining, and that's what you do in July, is what I think. So
yeah, because I mean, summer blockbusters. I mean, that's the and this movie, one of these movies, Black Widow was supposed to come out since last year, but then COVID happened. And if anything, now it's kind of that it's kind of getting more normal here. So people are already like kind of like, you know, the mask restrictions are being kind of lifted for the most part. So it's kind of getting more normal, and at the same time they're releasing more movies, because I know like more movies are coming out than before. So it's kind of trying to get a little balanced out.
Right. For me, I haven't found any movies in the movie theater that I really want to see. So I think it's nice that we now have like the streaming services, because like I said, I have missed a lot of movies anyway. So it's kind of nice to be able to just watch movies at home too, because I feel like there aren't movies, like I said, for me out in theaters right now necessarily, you know. So,
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it helps to have those streaming services. Like, I mean, you never know what you're gonna find. You know, there's a lot of movies that just kind of get like buried or hidden because there's so much content now, you know.
Yep. So yeah. Anyway, so have you said everything you want to say about all the movies that we've watched?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like if people want to watch them, it's up to them, because you know our opinions are our own, and you never know, maybe they'll like it more than we did or not like it at all. So it's just kind of like an idea for them to have. So but yeah, that's pretty much all I would have to say about these movies that we kind of shared.
Yeah, well, it's been good talking to you about the movies again this time, and I mean, I'm sure we're going to be watching more as time passes, but like these are the movies that we watched in July so far, and that we've enjoyed or not. So like I hope everyone had a good time.
Right. Likewise. We'll see you next time.